Okay, so Nikhil, good evening, and let's proceed ahead for your mock interview on Coal India Limited, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we want Nikhil you to introduce yourself to us first.
Sir, my name is Nikhil Sharma. I hail from Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Now I would like to talk about my parents, sir. My father is working with Government of India under the Revenue Department, and my mother is a homemaker, sir. And I also have a younger brother, sir. I pursued my schooling under a CBSE school from Baroda, sir, Gujarat, because my father was posted there. And after completion of my schooling, I pursued my Bachelor of Commerce from Maharaja Sayajirao University in Baroda. And alongside, I pursued my Chartered Accountancy, sir. I completed that in May 2014. So thereafter, we moved to Delhi, and I started working at Gurugram under an organization called Deloitte, and under the profile of corporate and international taxation, sir. So I worked there for about 2.75 years. And after working there, sir, I decided to take plunge into entrepreneurship, sir, along with my brother. And he is an MD in Ayurveda, so we worked there. But that did not really go along as we had planned. And we realized that we were lacking in experience and it required a long gestation period, sir. So there were financial constraints. So I joined one organization in NCR-based chartered accountancy firm only, sir. And so this PSU Coal India, since it's a Maharatna company, came out with an opportunity. So I applied there for a better career prospect, which is related to my field.
Okay, Nikhil, you started your career with some company, Deloitte, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how long did you work there?
Sir, almost 3 years, sir.
And then you left it for entrepreneurship. You left it for entrepreneurship, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, how long you tried in entrepreneurship, your startup?
Sir, almost about 16 months and 16 months and then 6 months on and off.
What happened there then? Why you left it?
Sir, initially we were able to find good networks and everything, and we were able to establish customer base, but we could not formulate a proper team. So entrepreneurship is all about collaboration in a team format. So we could not accumulate a right team which could specifically handle those functionalities.
But don't you think getting a team and collaboration takes time?
Yes, sir, but the founders, like my brother and me, and there was one more female. So the core team could not subsist to collaborate with other new members.
Okay, I couldn't get.
Sir, initially the core members of our team, which were like 3 people, so we decided to take our own paths, different paths. So that is why we could not gather more people, sir.
You could not collaborate. So what do you think? What is required for good collaboration?
Sir, right attitude, patience, and sir, taking a seat back and allowing others to progress.
So teamwork, collaboration, right attitude, and everything is required in any job also.
Yes, sir.
As per you, you lack in these kind of traits.
Sir, as a team, we lack. Probably not me per se.
Okay. So you were good.
Or maybe my realization made me know the significance of these traits.
Did you try to keep the team together?
Yes, of course, sir. Yes. So, but there was some family pressure also and the financial constraints also, sir.
That is always there in entrepreneurship, Nikhil.
Yes, sir. So that is the reason why.
Do you repent your decision to enter or plunge in entrepreneurship, or your decision to quit early from entrepreneurship?
No, sir. No, sir. I don't regret it. No, sir. Because I feel entrepreneurship, there's no age per se to either enter, nor there is an age to plunge into it again or exit it, sir, because it's always better to take a mature decision rather than thinking about so, sir, I would say it is a sunk cost fallacy. You should not get into, okay, I invested 18 months and it could not work. So I think moving on is also an art.
Moving on early. I mean, That is called quitting. Moving on and quitting look like same word. What is the difference? Tell me. I'll say you quit. You say no, sir, I moved on. How do you differentiate it?
So moving on is so quitting is without giving a fight. Quitting is raising a white flag. But I would say moving on is we're persisting with it. We persisted. I mean, for now, because since I'm applied
I believe 16 months was not sufficient even to persist. You could have taken more time, no?
Sir, the other members, I would say, I would not, sir, because this is not the right fora to, discuss the pros and cons of my team members. So I would just say it did not fructify, sir.
Okay. So you were working in international corporate taxation.
Yes, sir.
How that is going to help you in the public sector?
So specifically with Coal India, sir, I would like to say, sir, Coal India is acquired, it is planning to acquire cooking coal assets abroad. It has signed a MOU with Russian government in the Far East region. So, sir, thereafter, you can say that this corporate taxation for overseas direct investments from India to outside India, there you need to have those transaction advisory, which I used to do. So thereafter, 2 tax jurisdictions are involved. So that kind of international taxation norms come in. And so my job role was not only limited to that. I also represented my clients in tax departments. So here, sir, for finance and accounts, you have to comply with various tax laws. Sir. So there, I'll be having a better understanding.
What are you doing presently, Nikhil?
Sir, I'm working with a mid-size. Sir, I have joined an organization which is also a startup, but in a chartered accountancy firm.
So your profile is similar to what you did earlier in Deloitte, or it's different?
Sir, we undertake all kind of work because it is just started, sir. I think it is just 7 years old firm, so there's no clearly delineated service line. But we do audit, assurance services, taxation, and all those.
Tell me, where do you learn more, in the new startup or in the already established company?
Sorry, sir?
Where do you learn more, in a new startup or established company?
Sir, in a new startup, definitely, sir, because there is no job role, there's no duties assigned. Everything is self-initiated, and the returns are also self-realized.
So don't you think you will learn here more than what you learn in Coal India?
Sir, I would say what I feel is, or what I believe is, sir, everything has its own pros and cons. So in a larger organization that is having a strength of 2.7 lakh employees, sir, this would again give me insights of doing things at scale, which ultimately many startups fail to do, and even if they start good, they fail to scale, sir. So that is one thing with Coal India, which is the largest mine explorer in the world. So there cannot be a better opportunity. And I just heard that 2 days back it has signed. Government has given a nod to venture into solar and aluminium bauxite exploration, sir. So I see a bright future for Coal India, sir.
Okay, Sigalani, sir.
Okay, so Nikhil, you are going through lateral entry or as a fresher?
Sir, this is a purely fresher job.
Okay, don't you think you are a misfit in this particular role?
So there is, I have not explored this kind of job role earlier. This is a typical finance and accounts role. So
any job experience is required for this?
No.
Job experience is
No. That is my question. My question to you is that misfit in the sense that, okay, since this is a entry level job, right?
Yes.
You already have a significant years of experience, whether running an enterprise or working. Already you're working over there. So you will be working with the fresher.
Yes, sir.
Same entry level. So it's a kind of a misfit, role misfit at the same level. So how you're going to adjust to that particular profile over there?
Sir, yes, I understand, and your apprehensions are perfectly okay, because when I'll be beginning, I'll have to go to the step 1 and draw the same salary as my younger peer who just qualified and who's 5 years younger to me professionally. So, but at the same time, younger professionals also bring fresh knowledge also. So I'll get to learn from them also. So, and secondly, my maturity will help me work at remote locations which Coal India offers, and which I'm eager to learn from, because I've never in my life really worked at places like Jharkhand or Odisha or rural Maharashtra. So I'm looking forward to that. So since I have that entrepreneurial attitude, I'm more inclined towards learning new things rather than going for looking at such comparisons.
Actually, my question is from the adjustment point of view. Okay, how you're going to adjust with those employees? See, it's whether you say or not.
Yes,
when you have for the same position, you have a wide experience gap.
Yes, sir.
Then definitely it is something like of maybe from outward you may seems to be okay because you're getting the opportunity right now.
Yes, sir.
And once hired, then when you go to the same role, their internal friction comes into picture. Think of a situation where you are being paid the same salary, you have a huge amount of experience of dealing with the things and all that. A fresher is also doing the same job.
So, but yes, sir. So I feel, sir, the maturity will differ, sir. And maybe my seniors appreciate that maturity. The way I'll handle may be different in comparison to my juniors, sir. So since I've handled teams before, I've faced, I've faced failure also. So I can also guide my, though they might be my peers, but if they are young enough, if they are facing anything, so maybe I can be a good guide and a good team member. Sir.
Okay. So right now you're mentioning something in Deloitte. You have worked as a international corporate taxation.
Yes, sir.
Right. And so can you elaborate a little bit about your job profile over there?
Sir, it was, sir, as a chartered accountants organization, I had my role of representing my clients for their tax litigation in front of tax authorities. And after that, we had also advisory services. Sir. So supposedly there is a foreign company which is establishing a branch office in India, or maybe is transferring technology wide its office in India, and it needs to undertake intellectual property transfer. And in lieu of that, the Indian company is paying royalty. So we have transfer pricing rules applicable for those international transactions, sir. And so we offer advice whether or not what is the arm's length price, what sort of taxation has to be come in, what are the treaty provisions, and how do.
Can you help us understand what is transfer pricing?
So transfer pricing is any price which is between two entities of the same parent organization, sir. And they have to be undertaken at an arm's length price. Supposedly it had been taken with a third party which is unknown to the entity. So because what happens in MNCs is, sir, there are multiple entities working across jurisdictions globally. So they try to manipulate those prices, and supposedly India is a high tax jurisdiction. So what will they do is they'll increase the cost by transferring the cost from a low tax jurisdiction to a high tax jurisdiction. So the profitability in India will decrease, and then they have to pay bare minimum tax, or maybe suppose most of the MNCs files are nil returns.
So isn't it a kind of deterrence for the companies, MNCs who are working in India? For example, I'm an MNC who's working in India, and I'm not involving in underpricing kind of issues, right? And still you are saying that we are having a kind of high price, kind of high tax jurisdiction, right? So even if I'm not involving that kind of activity, I'm doing my business in a very fair way, still I'm being subjected to the transfer pricing rules.
No, sir. Any jurisdiction, it provides a range of plus or minus 5%, sir, and which provides. It safeguards the interests of those who are taking bona fide business transactions, sir. It is not arbitrary, and in cases where there is tax litigation, or there is a dispute between the tax assessee as well as the tax department, so Indian government and the Indian system provides independent I would say judiciary.
So what is the current mechanism from the government side? Because earlier, as you may be having a little knowledge, that a corporate had to go to that taxation department. They had to run about that to settle this issue of transfer pricing. It will take 4 or 5 years. And then finally, there was a lot of corruption even in between involved, to settle that particular whole of that issue. So can you let me know some of the steps that government has taken so that negative message doesn't go to these MNCs and business can flourish?
So government has come out with several steps. Recently, this government particularly has done a very good job, and which is reflected in India's ease of doing business. We have scaled up to 63rd rank. And in particularly when it comes to tax reforms, sir, it has come out with Vivad Se Vishwas scheme, sir, which is to give an opportunity to taxpayee to come out of the tax litigation. So because the tax litigation is time consuming and a lot of funds get stuck up in amount of taxes and the penalties. Secondly, sir, it has reduced the assessment procedures to faceless assessment, sir. Where it is honoring, in fact, it is honoring and also incentivizing the honest taxpayers, sir, by minimizing, like you said, the procedural lag. So thankfully, or unfortunately, due to COVID, the faceless scrutiny has become the norm, not a extended arm of the government. And so these are the steps, sir, which will initially have been initiated, but it may be taking time. So as a member of the Chartered Accountant Institute, sir, even the institute is taking and probing its members to take a step further to assist the department and do further refresher training. Sir, in our profession, it is called Continued Professional Education, CPE, which we need to do with the institute, and they give us trainings. Expert members across India come and train us. How do you proceed with these new technologies?
Okay, Nikhil, have you heard about Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the role of PSUs in this?
So PSUs, sir, I would say the profitable are cash cows for the government, sir. They are already
Atmanirbhar. From where government is getting money to pull this Atmanirbhar Bharat entire mission?
Sir, primarily PSUs, sir. So because
PSUs, they're earning.
Yes, sir. If you look at the Coal India, you look at ONGC, NTPC, all these are profit-run organizations, sir.
So their money is going to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Is that what you're saying?
Sir, if you look at the tax kitty of the government, sir, particularly Coal India pays 45,000 crores of tax, and as a shareholder, majority shareholder of the company.
Do you know that some coal fields, some privatization of the coal field mining has been done by government? Coal blocks have been sold for private exploration. You know that?
Yes, sir, but none of, I have recently read the Honorable Chairman Pramod Agarwal's recent statement that none of the Coal India's...
No, not Coal India, but otherwise.
Yes, sir, commercial mining has been allowed, sir. Commercial mining has been allowed, sir. It is a good step.
So the money earned through that commercial mining, was that pumped in Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Sir, as far as I know, sir, it was not successful. So there was no money which was transferred to the government.
Okay. So do you know what is Mad March Rush? Do you know what is the meaning of that?
Yes, sir. Usually government departments, whatever has been allocated to them and during the budget allocations, they try to expend whatever is remaining. And it comes down to the last month of March, because otherwise it will get... reshifted to the...
Okay, can we say because of the GST now state governments have become poorer?
So state governments, sir, yes, if you look at the Finance Commission's report, it has declined, it has reduced the amount of shares which will go to the, it will go to the state government. From 42% to 41%. But when you come to GST, so sir, they have come out with a federal setup which is known as GST Council, sir, which has representation from state governments also. 2/3 representation is of state governments. So, sir, in those cases, they can decide. And you are right, sir, they have given their federal powers of collecting taxes. So, but still there are few provisions like alcohol, agriculture is still within the ambit of state government. So I think even government is still trying to, I think one of the reference points of 15 Finance Commission is actually to figure out how much is the revenue foregone because of the GST and how should they compensate. So I think this finding has not come out actually. So I cannot comment.
Okay, so Nikhil, for example, you are saying that Coal India is also involved in many operations overseas, right?
No, sir, it has recently signed MOU and it has one of the subsidiary in Mozambique, which I think is not operational.
Okay. So, for example, when you involve in kind of cross-country businesses and whenever you transfer the money, kind of business transaction takes place, right? So, to minimize your loss, you carry out a process of hedging, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you let us know something about how basically hedging is done and how you can utilize what basically method you need to adopt so that you can utilize that hedging to the best of your to your advantage?
So primarily, whether or not you operate in India or outside India, there are so basically, to my understanding, three kind of risks. There is credit risk, there is operational risk, and there is financial risk or market risk.
Right.
So hedging can be used for mitigating either of the risks.
Right.
So when it comes to financial risk, it can be in terms of foreign currency transactions, and you have specific instruments like derivatives. You have options, swaps, foreign currency, credit default swaps. And sir, also there are a lot of line of credits which governments extend to their companies. Sir. Like in India, we have Exim Bank. So to our exporters, exporters do trade with other countries. So we extend line of credit, sir. That is to mitigate the credit risk, sir.
Okay. Okay. So presently, what is the export duty of the coal on coal? Do you have any idea?
No, sir.
No. So India is also importing, as you know, coal, right?
So that's what I was thinking, that I think we are not able to fulfill our domestic demands. How are we exporting?
Any idea about the custom duty on coal and its breakup?
No, sir. I'll cross check, sir.
Okay. So general bifurcation do you have? Like kind of what are the different heads covered under that custom duty for imports?
Yes, sir. So there is a basic custom duty. Right. Then you have countervailing duty.
Okay.
Then you have anti-dumping duty also.
So anti-dumping duty also included in that? Or is it levied separately?
Sir, it is levied specifically by DGFT.
But that is case by case basis, not for all the products, right?
Yes, sir.
But if you go by the overall structure of this particular custom duty, then you are having some heads which are permanent, like you're saying basic custom duty, like you said countervailing duty, and some kind of cess also.
Yes, sir.
So that is how it is, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, Nikhil, let me ask you one of the last question. I think it's then we end it up. And what if we stop using coal in future?
So you are asking me a question which is inevitable, or you are asking me my opinion that whether or not coal should be?
No. I am saying what happens to your job, to Coal India, when we stop using fossil fuel coal for whatever needs we are using it for.
Sir, coal primarily is the only natural.
Do you think it will be stopped in some near future? We will stop using coal. Can we stop using coal?
Sir, stopping using coal is not a rational decision, sir. I feel, sir, because sir, we have a lot of clean coal technologies. So I don't have an engineering background, but I understand that there are a lot of clean coal technologies where investment is being done pre-combustion, during combustion, and post-combustion stage. So during pre-combustion, you can evacuate coal Coal India is investing to evacuate coal via railway rather than road. You can utilize the fly ash for making other use purposes, which comes out of it during combustion.
That's
also,
okay. I mean, when you use coal, there are so many kind of pollutants, but you you can't do away with carbon dioxide. That is a main global warming gas. You can minimize it, mitigate it, but you cannot eliminate the pollution. And then there are some alternate sources of energies where you do not have pollution. So there is possibility.
Renewable energy is where the government is also pushing, because we have a Paris Climate Agreement and we have our INDC targets, which also state that we need to reduce the carbon emission intensity of GDP by 33 to 35%. Sir. So having a clean coal technology is just one part of it. Secondly, I would say that Coal India itself is diversifying its offerings in terms of venturing into solar sector. Sir, like I said, it will be competing. It has planned to invest 1 lakh crores into investments, which is into manufacturing the whole supply chain for solar sector, and it will come out with the first polysilicon.
Okay, so if in near future we diversify to different energy domains, what new name would you coin for Coal India Limited?
Sir, if that question can be reframed and said, okay, Nikhil, if you are the CMD, what will be your call?
Okay.
So I would say
Nikhil,
that.
If you are CMD, what will be the name?
So I would say that, sir, we have a large organization which is like 8 subsidiaries. I would try to spin off the subsidiaries and make them specialize into like Eastern region. Sir, if you look at India's map, Coal India is primarily running the economic. It is the economic driver of the Eastern region of India. And whether it is through its corporate social responsibility activities, so those kind of activities, it can go into bauxite and aluminium mining, those Eastern subsidiaries. The southern ones can go into solar power. And its mining and mineral exploration expertise can be utilized in, because sir, ultimately not only coal, for other minerals also we are import dependent. Okay,
Nikhil, give me the name. Give me the name, not story.
Sir, what name, sir?
Coal India Limited. If I want to change the name, once we diversify, what should be the new name? That is my question.
Sir, it can be called.
Can't it be Energy India Limited?
Yes, sir.
And as a CMD, can you change the name? Legislation permits you for that? Can you? Or what is the authority to change the name of Coal India Limited?
Sir, as a corporate law, like under the corporate law, yes, sir, you can change. You have to amend the memorandum of association.
Who can amend that?
The board can amend, sir.
Are you sure? Or not in parliament?
No, sir, you don't need a parliament, sir, because it is a Maharatna company and it has financial and operational autonomy. So you can, it is on my board, and it is a listed enterprise also.
Okay. So, Lani sir, should we give feedback?
Yeah, of course. Now we can proceed. Okay. So I think, Nikhil, everything seems to be okay, only with the few exceptions, like where you may face trouble in explaining the things, like you are going at the entry level, right? And how that kind of adjustment you're going to have. Even though you explained it beautifully, that means basically it's a kind of teamwork and whatever, all those you can guide those who are freshers and all that. So I think that could be the question. Rest, I think other parts that you already have practical experience of working with them. So I think will not be any kind of such issue. And at the same time, I think since you mentioned about the transfer pricing during tax litigation and all that, so I think you should have a fair idea of that. How transfer pricing is done and all that, what are all issues in present situation, what is government has done. And I think a general question that I asked related to the custom duty. So I think you should just go through it, okay? Because even though Coal India Limited does not import as such coal, it maybe it's already exporting, like some portion of it. So export duty, you can just check it out. And also for the import duty breakup, how overall breakup you are having. It's a kind of a general question that could be posed, right? Random question. And rest part, I think Dr. Vijender can give you the feedback.
So I think, Nikhil, more or less it is okay. I mean, I do not have any trouble with your presentation is good. Just try to be as brief as possible, because there you will not get much time. For the practice, we have taken long interview. We have taken the interview almost double the time which you will get into there. So dressing sense looks like okay, perfect. Which part of India you are going for interview? Where you are presently?
I am in Noida.
You will go to Kolkata, right? So
Yes,
I
sir.
think this dressing is okay. I mean, this thing is okay. Go with this only, and just get yourself clean shaved, right? That is what you can do. And
So I've timed it because I know the growth of my beard. So
yes, yes. So just trim it properly, right? And rest is okay. Confidence level is okay, but I believe you are giving more explanation than required. It has to be very, very straight and simple. So why you left your job? And entrepreneurship, they can grill you. They can ask you. So I'm not saying don't tell them. You should tell them. But I believe 16 months is too less period. You may not get justification, and he would like to enter into your trades why you left it, because that is your exposure. Entrepreneurship is somewhere where I can know your personality very clearly. Teamwork, collaboration was not there. Patience was not there. You could not gel up with others. You could not coordinate with others. So everything you get to know. And that is what I would like to see as employee. You left your Deloitte, you joined the entrepreneurship, you started, now you are in a small company, you are learning more in that company. And then what is your attitude for a large company? So you have changed one company, entrepreneurship, another company, now into another company. That is how this is all going. I am a little skeptic. You need to prove it. That can be advantages, that can be disadvantages. If you don't tell what you have done, then obviously you cannot justify the time period also, what you have done. So all these things which you have done, they can be good for you. They can enhance your probability of getting selected in this job, getting into this job. But at the same time, it's a very thin line. It's at the same time, it may go reverse. The people are sitting there to make opinion. You have to convince them. I'm sitting here with some kind of, for some kind of opinion making about your personality. I want to gauge that personality. क्या हुआ था ऐसा? You cannot say other two partners were not coordinating. I was the best among them. You cannot blame them sitting here. You understand that? So it is very, very, I mean, ticklish situation for you to justify. Collaboration नहीं कर पाए. कौन नहीं कर पाया? सर वो नहीं कर पाया, मैंने तो कर ली थी. You cannot say that. तो वो ट्रबल आ सकता है निखिल तुम्हें, राइट? सो वो एक थोड़ा सा जस्टिफाई करना पड़ेगा तुम्हें. आपकी स्टोरी वहीं से उठेगी, वहीं से वो आपसे पूछेगा और उसी में वो इंटरेस्टेड है. बाकी तो यार रिटन एग्जाम वगैरह तुम निकाले हैं, उसमें कोई ट्रबल नहीं आएगा. कोल इंडिया में क्या करना चाहते हो, वहां पे तुमने क्या काम किया, जो सकलानी सर ने आपसे पूछा उसके बारे में पूछ सकता है. टैक्सेशन के बारे में पूछ सकता है, वो जीएसटी वगैरह के बारे में पूछ सकता है. आपका एटीट्यूड चेक कर सकता है. वो आत्मनिर्भर भारत के बहुत से क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं वो लोग, गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज के क्वेश्चंस पूछ रहे हैं वो. दे वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड फाइनेंशियली कि आत्मनिर्भर भारत इतना बड़ा पैकेज गवर्नमेंट ने दिया है, वो पैसा कहां से आ रहा है. यू शुड नो दैट एज अ फाइनेंशियल एक्सपर्ट. ये क्वेश्चंस आपसे पूछेंगे. सो यू शुड बी लिटिल गुड इन योर जनरल अवेयरनेस आल्सो फॉर दैट. फाइन निखिल?
ओके सर.
बाकी यार मेरे को लगता है यू आर अ सिलेक्टेड कैंडिडेट. मतलब अगर मेरे को लेना होगा तो आई विल रिक्रूट यू पर्सनली. इफ आई एम टू रिक्रूट, आई विल रिक्रूट यू
for YourPedia.
Sorry?
Okay.
For YourPedia.
Not for YourPedia. For Coal India में तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ यार. I am not representing YourPedia here. I am recruiter in Coal India as of now. तो अगर मैं रिक्रूटमेंट करने पहुंच जाऊं तो, क्योंकि we keep on interviewing many people. क्यों सकलानी सर?
Yeah.
Boy looks like confident.
No, everything is okay. As I told you, there is nothing like what do you expect from at a fresher level?
Yes.
They cannot expect anything more than that. Rather, you are a surplus for them.
Yes.
Surplus in the sense that you are having many traits and experience. But only thing is that justification part. That means you need to justify kind of general questions which will be posed to you. So just don't pose in negative way. Just put it on the right perspective. I think everything is okay.
तुम्हें मेजर की सैलरी में कर्नल मिल रहा है यार. What else you want?
Right.
Right, Nikhil. That is how it is. चलो, all the best, Nikhil.
Okay, sir.
All the best, Nikhil. All the best.
Soon we expect you come with a sweet box and give good news of selection, right?
Hopefully, sir. Hopefully.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All the best. All the best.
Okay, sir.